You'll notice your hinges have this screw and this screw. This screw, if you turn it counterclockwise, it brings the door in towards the center of the opening, and if you turn it clockwise, it moves it back. That's to take care of the gap between the doors. If you'll notice, the gap on these doors, since I played with the screw, is opened up on the bottom a little bit. So now, if I come in here and I unscrew it a couple of half turns or quarter turns, you got to play with it. Now you'll notice it has a fairly even gap all the way at the top or the bottom. Yours don't necessarily have to have the same size gap as mine. Mine is there because the type of wood that I use, it's seasonal. It's still expanding and contracting within time. When it normalizes, I'll dial it in better and deal with it then. The other screw moves the hinge in, that turning clockwise, and it moves the whole part of that door in. Counterclockwise moves the door out. That's going to do two things. If you look at my doors, at the top there's almost no gap, but down here there is a gap. That's because within time, or this wall that I planted it on was not truly plumb, and because it's my shop cabinet doors, I didn't care to worry about it. I don't care if it's unsightly or whatever. But what you want to do is, when the door is shut, tap on it like this, make sure that this gap is not gapped basically, and the top is not gapped. So now if this was out of adjustment, and I brought that in like that, so now you'll notice down here it's tight. But up here, it's got a pretty good sized gap there. And the way you fix those gaps is with this. You can either try screwing the top one in closer to the cabinet, or, because I know this is out of whack from the bottom because I'm the one that just did it, I'll bring this out. I'm bringing it out almost all the way, and now it's good there, and it's good enough there. I think I have a little bit more play. There you go. And that's why double doors are more troublesome, because when they're done, this gap has to be even, but also being flush to each other has to be even. And the longer the door, the harder it is sometimes. And in the case you have that third hinge, sometimes what I have had to do is ignore that middle hinge, the one in the center, and concentrate on the top and the bottom first before I mess with the other hinges. I'm sorry. Yeah, before I mess with the center hinge. So the only other thing you may have to do is, when it's all said and done, if one door is still higher than the other and they're pretty much, other than that, they're good to go, that's when you loosen these screws right here a little bit, and with a little mallet tap it up or down to move it in small intervals until you get it just right. Little bit troublesome, but once you've done a few, they're pretty easy to figure out. Let me know if you need any more help or more explanations. Take care.